Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Can you believe we got through 2025?
Yes. Well, no.
It was
It was
an unbelievable
believable.
year.
Yeah.
And we like to use unbelievable because it could be unbelievably good or unbelievably bad, or it could just be unbelievable. We'll just stick to the unbelievable. But it was 2025 was really a year of amazing things that we got to experience. And for one, we got to celebrate 30 years.
30 years.
Married.
Yeah.
I see those wedding pictures and I still can't believe it that we've been married that long. It doesn't feel like
30
it's
years.
been that
It's
long.
incredible.
Yeah.
I love that.
We got to take our first cruise too.
That was amazing.
That was
Yeah.
amazing.
So relaxing.
Yeah.
I think I can see more cruises in our future for sure.
Well, we have 2 for this year already, so we booked really fast. That was awesome.
Yeah.
But we are also so thankful that we got to do and launch Red Hot Marriage, which had been in our hearts forever. So we are so thankful for the people that have encouraged us and supported us throughout this journey. I know in talking to some friends and family and different messages that we received, DMs of how helpful this has been for some and putting words to what maybe they've experienced that before they didn't have.
Yeah.
So we're going to keep on doing it and see how many more people we can help.
I know.
So
it's been
super
incredible.
exciting. Yeah.
It's exciting. So 2026 here we
is
are.
This is it, honey.
And we keep going.
With big goals for this year.
Yeah.
Big things coming up, and we're excited to be a part of it. So I know we left off our conversation in kind of a little cliffhanger of what the process has been for us. So going back a little bit, we talked about the last episode was about a secret that that you had been holding on for many, many years, over 20 years, and really what happened when that secret came undone. Just the spiral that it took our marriage on, that we almost didn't make it.
Yeah.
We were at that place, right? So we left the cliffhanger in talking about a little bit of your story. So let's talk a little bit for those maybe that are listening for the first time. We talked about porn addiction. We talked about sexual addiction and how it affected our marriage and how it almost brought it to an end. So can you talk a little bit about what each is, or what sex addiction is, what porn addiction is? I know people sometimes don't know the difference.
Yeah. I mean, porn addiction is a dependency on it.
Yeah.
That you depend whenever you face life, and life brings a difficult challenge, a difficult moment with family, with work, with pressure, with boredom, with all those different things that a man can experience. And I'm saying man because I'm a dude, and I experienced that. And so it's from a man's perspective of how porn addiction affects your life. And instead of you being able to talk about it, talk about what's going through your mind, the thoughts that you're navigating, what you're facing, instead of doing that, you go into pornography.
Yeah.
You start watching, you start binging. It could be a binge for many days. It could be hours. It could be, just a few websites that you visit, whatever it is. The thing is that it's a dependency on viewing pornography to avoid the moments in your life that weigh on you, that are difficult to deal with. And I experienced that.
Yeah.
That was part of my story. Early in our marriage, we faced a lot of financial challenges, and that was an escape for me. Instead of me bringing to you my shame, the places where I felt that I was missing it, instead of doing that, I would go into pornography. I would go into and sit and watch porn instead of being able to talk to you about it or talk to someone about it.
For sure. So, porn addiction was part of our story. Then can you just touch a little bit on like what sexual addiction is too? Because we're talking about porn addiction, but you've worked with many men too that have found themselves in that it's not only porn, then it becomes, and that's not part of our story.
Yeah.
But for those listening, that maybe have questions of what is it? Is it only porn? Is it full on sexual addiction? Like what the difference maybe could be?
Yes, sexual porn addiction is confined to porn addiction. You watching some form of pornography on the screen, social media, whatever it is. And porn addiction is part of sexual addiction. And sexual addiction is, in a way, an escalation of porn addiction. That it goes into compulsive behaviors, taking action, maybe in some of the things that you see in porn, that you have multiple affairs, multiple sexual partners. All those different things can become and are part of a sexual addiction.
And it can escalate from porn addiction. Normally, like, okay, you have the initial drug, right? And then this thing can escalate into something greater. And we've seen it in our in working with clients and the people that we have coached and mentored, the escalation that can happen when this is not addressed. So we wanted to talk about this and make it as normal as possible to talk about it in the context of just helping people. So the other could be perhaps, avoided or.
Yeah. I mean, I think in helping people in general, but also helping Christian men and women specifically. We come from a Christian background. We are Christians. We are believers in Jesus. We've been pastors for years. And that's been part of our story. Even though that we love the Lord, I found myself trapped, entangled in porn addiction. My love for the Lord didn't change. It was a challenge that my heart and part of my growth as a man that I was having difficulty. How do I navigate this? How do I go about finding healing? And it came, but it was really, really hard. And I think this is in a certain ways, the part where we left off last time as well.
We did. So we talked about, for us, the road to healing was definitely getting therapy, getting someone that could work with betrayal trauma in my part. And then for you with a certified sex addiction therapist that could then, help you get to the bottom of why is it that you were going there. So porn addiction is also a part, of course, of escaping what is happening, escaping the pain, escaping anything in our
world. You don't know how to deal with it.
Because you don't have the tools to be able to deal with it. So in the way of escape, there has to also be a way to help people find the tools, right? Into, okay, what do you do when this urge comes, when you feel completely overwhelmed emotionally? Many times we've talked before in past episodes that this is discovered and this happens early on in life for boys and for girls too at times, that they become accustomed to numbing their emotions through porn. And, I don't know if you want to share a little bit of your story of where it started, with you, that, and then like that, we can then move on from there.
Yeah, I think growing up, I had to find ways to cover, some of the needs that I had that I didn't know how to explain. I didn't know how to put language around it. And I think that every man does that in certain ways. Like as you grow up, around the locker room, if you play sports, there's no one there to say, man, how you feeling today? Tell me your emotions. Tell me your feelings. Man, you play football, you play sports, you're around the playground with the boys. It's a slap in the butt and get up. If you fall, you scratch yourself, you slap in the butt. Hey, let's go. Continue playing. Continue going on. There's no
empathy. They don't know about empathy,
no empathy,
about care.
And so then I had to rediscover the language of empathy for myself, for the different seasons of my life, different like time frames of my life where I needed that. And that gave me the ability to really know what I was experiencing and that I didn't need to hide it. And that finding that language was so much healing for me. It was so healing and so freeing because I didn't know that I could say those things.
Yeah.
I didn't know that it was okay for me to say, man, like I feel weak today. I feel that I'm struggling with just life. Life has thrown me a curveball, that it was okay for me to have bad days, that I didn't need to be a tough guy all the time. And that was and I think the other layer that I learned was that is even a greater strength that I have.
Yeah.
That I get to not only live in my masculine body and my mind that the Lord gave me, but I'm able to in my strength, be able to say the moments that I need help.
Yeah.
Because I'm experiencing a bad day. I had a hard interaction with a customer if you're working out there, or had a strong conversation with you that I'm feeling sad about.
Strong conversations
Yeah.
with me? You rarely have those, right? You're practically perfect in every way. Oh, no, that's me. That's me.
Which, during this time of recovery and finding healing, we had a lot of heavy conversations.
We did. Intense fellowships.
Yeah, and some of those conversations were so heavy that literally my emotional capacity would shut down.
Yeah.
Like it was that bad. But it was finding that language. I think that was part of my road to really finding healing, for myself.
So in going back to your story, like even the why porn? Why porn? So I know men and women find themselves there that yes, and you do go through life experiencing all those things and not quite knowing like what emotion to tag behind it. But for you, like even the discovery of porn was early. Yeah. It was early, coming across magazines, coming across videos and that, right? So for you, the onset was how old?
I must have been like 8 years old.
So pretty young.
Somewhere on there.
Yeah.
Between 8 and 10, somewhere. Yeah. So it was early. And I think that's like in general, the experience is between then and even younger than that.
So with that being part of your story, then that became a place of comfort. That became a place of awe. Because when you're little, you don't know what you're looking at. It's so innocent. Yeah. But then it's like you almost like become awakened to this is interesting. Yeah. And then it becomes then a coping of like anytime that you're scared, you're tired, you're bored, you're hungry. I don't know. Yeah. You just then go to that.
Right. One of my coaches that I had in my recovery, he used to call pornography like your pacifier.
Oh, that's good.
It's like when you're a kid, you use a pacifier to kind of calm you down and relax and be stable. And that's what little kids, small kids, in those moments that are challenging, that's what you start using. You start using porn to calm you down, for you not to be so scared. And you start using that as a pacifier. If you can picture a grown man sticking a pacifier in his mouth, that's kind of what porn is. Yeah. And eventually we have to break that to become fully integrated as a man that we are, and continue to do life and face all the challenges that we do, that life brings you, and be okay to navigate those landmines at times.
Yeah. And when you have been accustomed to like just going here and being pacified, as you said, right, then you lose the ability to really connect human to human with the very person that could possibly help you, whether it is a friend or your spouse, either or, right? Yeah. But I think that there's so much shame too that comes with that. So in you hiding this for years and years and years, it was you also maybe, well, I'll let you answer. Like, was it not knowing what to do or how to stop? Because that you tried many, many times and it was like impossible. Like you would still, go back to it. And there's a part of the addiction, right? Yeah. Or do you feel that it was like, or you were taking into consideration that it was going to be devastating to our marriage? Or was it more about you then saying, well, it's weak. If I can't stop this on my own, I'm weak. There's something wrong with me. Like, what do you think it was in you going those years and trying to stop, but not being able to?
Yeah. You get overwhelmed by shame. Okay. Because being a Christian, I mean, we know that that's horrible. That's incredibly horrible to be doing something like that, and to have a secret like that. And in your mind, you have this conversation that no one would understand. Yeah. And you'll be considered, dirty. You'll be considered all the things
lustful.
All the things that you can think. You can even right now, as people are listening to this, can think about things that how would you perceive someone that you feel that is a man, and all of a sudden you find out that they're addicted to pornography. Think about that.
Yeah.
And those are all the thoughts that I carried. Maybe not all of them, but around that that is a good line of thinking of what was going through my mind, and the reason why men, especially Christian men, it's very hard for them to bring this to the light because they're feeling and they're carrying all that, and that was part of it. Thinking through all this, and the other part, almost at the same time, you would find, no, but the Lord is going to help me break this. The Lord is going to help me.
I went to the altar. I repented. Yeah,
absolutely. And so you go, you repent, you get saved again multiple times, which I did multiple times, and men's
conferences, everything,
you name it.
But the crazy part is, the irony in all of this is that probably, I'm just going to put it out there, 99.999999999% of men struggle in this area. There are women too, but we're talking about men right now. And yet it is like this is how the trap of the enemy, the lie of the enemy, to keep men in shame,
right?
To keep them really like in bondage to this for years and years and years. Because you try and then you fail and you try and keep going through this cycle that is so vicious.
But that's exactly right. It's like a vicious cycle. Then because you cannot overcome it, it creates more shame. You start doubting your strength to really overcome, and in a way to affirm who you are, to break that. And you never can. So then it becomes one of those things. The more that you try, the more that you try and you cannot overcome, the deeper that you sink, because the deeper that you don't want to tell anybody. And by the time you know it, it's been 20 years.
And the sad part in all of this is that we tell people in church, like, come as you are. But when someone comes with something like this, many times, yes, they are removed from ministry. Of course, you do need healing. You need all that. They're removed from everything that gives them life significance, just purpose too. And yet, as leaders, as people, we may be ourselves struggling with areas like this, but we're hush-hush about it because we don't want to put it out there.
Right.
Because then, same damnation's going to come on me as well. And we have many, 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 many men that are sick in the church because they can't speak out about this. That the moment that they say something, they lose everything. Not to say that there is a time of healing, there's a time of restoration and all of that, but we have to get honest, especially in the church. Man, I come down on this because I think of all the conversations that I've had throughout the years, hundreds of men that I've spoken to over the years that have found themselves in this place. And it is so unfair that they're not getting the help, because we tell them, hey, come up to the altar, come get a little prayer and everything's going to go away. So let's talk now about the true process of like healing for someone that finds themselves in this place. So we talked about a little bit about therapy, that therapy is super important to work with someone that can actually help you with this, right? We talked about what that process, and we'll expand on that process, what it was for us too. We talked about a therapeutic full disclosure, which is going with your therapist, working on all your sexual history and just all the places where you've acted out since you can remember all the way to present time. And tell me a little bit about like the therapeutic full disclosure, like what it was for you going through that process, because we did it maybe about a year after, right? When we started counseling, it took a long time to develop it. So what that was for you?
It seemed like that part dragged forever. Like it was such a grind. It was so challenging. I think that in the process that we went through, there's therapy and all the different things but that's beyond what you're going through, right? That's later on stuff. That's stuff that goes deeper. You need professional help. Yes, absolutely. But a lot of times what can happen is that you relegate your moment now. Oh no, I need to go to therapy first. No, you have, and that's the part that really makes the difference between addressing the moment now as a grown man and trying to avoid it by saying I need therapy now. No, you broke your vows today.
Yeah.
You need to find ways to remedy that, to confront that, to front that with honesty and truth. And I think that yes, we need therapy, and I had a lot of therapy. I paid a lot of money for that, but it was after the fact. And whenever you say the full disclosure, I think the full disclosure is one of those things that confronts the moment head on.
Yeah.
No, you cannot escape that moment. You cannot put it off for a day in the future. Like, I was working on a full disclosure for, it seemed like over a year. It had to be like 9 months.
Yeah, was it 9 months?
Yeah, about 9 months, and that was challenging to do. But just like you said, the full disclosure was for about 9 months, thinking through and addressing parts of my life since I could remember back when I was a kid that I needed to write down.
Traumatic events.
First, this is addressing sexual addiction, right? Any sexual past. It doesn't matter what it is. I had to think through my life from the beginning.
Yeah.
And then think through any traumatic event, but everything connected to a sexual experience, sexual addiction, right? We're trying to break or find the core, the roots of sexual addiction. Where did it come from? How did I get addicted to pornography?
Entangled in this, yeah.
Yeah. And so that had to be addressed. So for 9 months, think about this. For 9 months, every time my therapy session, for some way, somehow, in our conversation, every time I met my therapist, we had a conversation about the full disclosure. And it was so uncomfortable.
Yeah, and it was like peeling back layers, like an onion, of the past, of your past, and some things, because they have been so traumatic, I guess, had been kept away in deep, dark, hidden closets in your mind and your heart, and they needed to be accessed, right? And it takes time to do that. So I think that one of the things that we can talk about for sure is when you have men that come, right, and that you're working with them, and they are like, oh man, she just needs to get over it. Like, that happened a long time ago. Like, I'm not doing it anymore. We hear that all the time. People would say like,
That's
well,
insane.
I'm not doing it. I'm not acting out. I'm not going to strip bars. I'm not having sex with my, former workplace person, right? I'm not doing that anymore. Now I'm good. No, not at all. Not at all.
Guess what? That sounds like a way to escape.
Yeah. So when guys come up to you and they say, because it is right, it's a way of escape for them, immediately, and we both know that it's time, that they are maybe not willing to do the real work that it takes. Because when a guy is really serious about changing and really breaking free from this, they're going to do whatever it takes to stop.
And the conversation is going to sound different.
It is.
A lot different than saying I'm not doing this anymore. It's going to be different.
So let's talk about what it took for us. So our conversation was like, I remember you saying like, I will do anything I need to do.
Yeah.
To break this from my life.
Right.
Now.
Yeah. Yeah. And in other words, I wanted to confront, as scared as I was and as insecure that I felt walking through this, not having the language, not knowing where we were going to end up. I wanted to do and confront this like head on. Yeah. I was willing to listen to it, and I didn't do it perfectly, but I was willing to sit down and to hear you and me, learn what it sounded like to take accountability for my actions and find healing, find restoration, find whatever I needed to do to not go and be addicted to pornography no more, and more importantly to break your heart, to break my vows, my promises to you, the promise that I made. I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to break that, and I wanted to like regain your trust and do it in however I could, whatever it took. I wanted to do that.
Yeah. And I remember, going through group, that was part of, your recovery, that you weren't only meeting with a therapist, once a week, but then you were also working on the full disclosure with him closely, but then you were also attending groups every week, every weekend. Every weekend you would show up, whatever time, and that you all would meet. And it was a group of guys where you were accountable, where you would go through, this is what we've experienced. This is, where we're at. And I remember you sometimes coming out of those groups and you would tell me like, babe, like I'm good. Like compared to what these guys are doing, like this is what I've dealt with, but nothing like that, and we can laugh about it right now, but it was like, we saw, you were able to see the escalation of what not stopping this addiction could eventually get you to, and it was tragic, and it was horrible to see and to know the other people that were experiencing such devastation in their lives, in their jobs because of porn.
Yes.
Getting fired because of accessing porn on their at work, but then losing everything too, from their marriages to their children, to their dignity, their everything,
losing everything.
So we talked about the process, right? A little bit about, okay, we worked on that full disclosure for about a year. Yeah. In the meantime, I was working with someone, and she was helping me also just really get grounded, get healthier mentally, not be so triggered by everything. Mm-hmm. So I'm working with her with that. And when it came then the day of the full disclosure, we were advised to drive separately to your therapist's office, right? Yeah. And we had your therapist there. You were there, and then I was there, and then my mentor, my coach was there too, to help me as I'm hearing all this information. So we had planned to be there pretty much all day, from the morning all the way to the evening. And the other advice that we had received is like, try to just have some distance after you hear everything. And so I decided to stay in a hotel that night. That evening, you drove back home. I drove to a hotel and kind of just stayed to process then, and then touch base again with my coach, my mentor, afterwards. So driving in that morning to go and hear, I remember the full disclosure. I had been waiting for it for so long, and I had to resist the urge to continue to ask you, like, hey, what else? Yeah. Because I knew that you were working on this document, and it had taken you so long to put it together, right? But I remember driving the night before even, we're getting ready to go to bed, and I told you, make sure you don't omit anything, because you're going to be breaking my heart tomorrow, and I want for it to only happen one more time. Like, give it to me. I don't care. Take off the bandage, rip off the flesh. I don't care, but I need it all at once. I don't want to go through this again. You remember that?
I'm so glad that you're saying that, because that's a very important point. Yeah. In the recovery process, a lot of men, what we do, and I did it too.
Oh, absolutely.
It's what we call like a drip disclosure, right? That it happens in little drips of truth here and there. So guess what? Every time we do that, we break and re-break our wife's heart every time. Yeah. The way it should look like is what Diana is saying. And that's what the intention of the full disclosure, that's what was intended to be that way. You have a devastating moment of truth for 6 hours, whatever it is, that you work with that's I did. I worked with my therapist for 9 months, wrote everything down, and it was going to be this window of devastating, brutal truth about my life. And it was going to be one heartbreak with all the truth, and that's it right there. And then from there, you start mending. You start working. But this of a drip disclosure, that's another word for it that escapes me. But that's the idea, that you drip it and you don't say the whole truth.
Trickle truths.
Time. Yeah, at one time. Yeah. So I'm glad that you said that, because that's important.
Yeah, no, for sure. I remember then you telling me that the night before, saying, oh, I need to add something to it.
And I did add it.
And you did add it. Yeah, you for sure did add it. And that was critical. Like, you were going to leave out like a critical part of it. Yeah. But I remember even telling, like, man, I'm praying that God reminds you of every little thing, like right now.
And the Lord did.
And he did. And you went back and you're like, okay,
and the Lord did.
I'm
There's some
needing to add
things that I
this.
wrote on there that I had not thought about in
You had suppressed.
like 40 years.
Yeah.
That happened to me when I was a little kid.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm so glad that you did.
Yeah.
So the next day, driving, right? We had to drive maybe 40 minutes to the office. And I remember, driving in my car and then you driving on your own there. And I was praying and I'm like, Lord, I don't know what I'm going to hear today. And I don't know if my marriage is going to be over. After hearing, okay. I don't know. It was a toss up.
I was feeling the same thing.
Yeah. You knew, right? So, and I remember the word of God for me. And I want to share this because I think that this could be for wives. They can borrow this for them that are experiencing this in their marriage and they're not sure or they're scared of what they may hear if their husband truly comes clean. So I remember God just putting in my heart, Deanna, you're looking back at parts of the story that you missed. That's it. But you're not in danger. And I'm continuing to write the story if you let me.
Yes.
So, okay, I'm looking back. Oh, it's easy then. It's easy. I can look back. Okay. Oh, I missed that detail. Oh, I missed that one too. Okay. I'm safe. So the whole time that you're reading your disclosure to me, I mean, you're nervous. I remember you shaking. Yeah. It was you could hear the page shaking as you're holding it, just reading. And I'm thinking back, I'm hearing all that you're just saying. And my coach is looking at me, making sure that I'm okay. And I'm just listening to it because God had reminded me that all I'm doing is hearing a story of parts that I missed.
Right.
That's it. So I was safe.
Wow.
And that helped me, that grounded me so I could hear everything that you were saying. Were there things in there that were painful? Absolutely.
Yeah.
But it wasn't okay, there's nothing to fear. I knew that God was going to get us through it. So we finished the disclosure, right? Part of the disclosure that is recommended is that if the spouse feels that maybe there hasn't been a lot of truth to what has been said, or there's doubt, that there could be then you want to say what it is?
I think we'll leave this for the next episode. What is the next step of the full disclosure during the full disclosure? But I want to say this. I want to say that as people see this, you and I are interacting. I love you and I feel so. That grieves my heart that I broke your heart through this experience. But many people that are watching now might be in a similar situation.
Yeah.
And I don't want for them to, as you and I talk, it's been years and we've navigated a lot of difficult conversations. So we might make light of it now, but it was not light when it was happening. It wasn't. So
it was a trail of tears every day.
So if people are hearing this and they're navigating those difficult those conversations, the impact, the moment, it's not going to feel light. And you're not going to be able to make fun of it or make light of it as right now. But I tell you that if you continue to work, if you continue to ask the Lord to help you through the process, you're going to find a moment that comes later that you're going to be able to be okay.
We couldn't see ourselves ever laughing again.
No.
Or having even fun together because we couldn't. We couldn't when we were in the trenches. And what people see now is the result of years of work, years of therapy, but also years of reconnecting as a couple. Right. And that's where we've been there. We've been there and we get to now share the way out.
Yeah. And Red Hot Marriage, that's what we do. That's what we want. Yeah. We want Red Hot Marriage to be this red hot, continued building process that is not a destination, but is a way of life. It's a rhythm that you and your spouse work through, that you and your spouse build, that he never stops to build a red hot marriage.
Yeah. And that's that part of the honest and open and transparent type of living that God has called us all to live. Right. That brings so much freedom, but that also brings truly you can experience heaven on earth.
Yeah.
That kind of marriage.
next episode, we're going to be talking about this. What was that crucial next step during the moment of the
after the full disclosure?
Immediately after, what was that critical moment that shook me to my core?
Yeah. All right. Till next time.
Next time. Love you.
All right. I love you.